Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people simply disappear when you do? Have you noticed how some only remember you when they need something? What if, for just one day, you decided to stop responding, stop chasing, stop trying? Not out of anger, not with drama, just silence, just absence. A simple yet powerful experiment, deliberately ignoring someone for 24 hours and seeing what happens. Sounds extreme? Maybe, but it's precisely this kind of silent gesture that reveals truths words can't. This isn't a video about revenge, it's about clarity. It's about opening your eyes. Because sometimes, when you stop giving, you start seeing. And what you'll see might be uncomfortable, but it can also be liberating. Today, you'll discover what silence reveals and why it's one of the most underrated tools in personal growth. Sit back, take a deep breath, get ready. Because by the end of this video, you may never respond the same way again. And that will change not just how others treat you, but how you treat yourself. Have you ever wondered why no one values what's always there? The answer lies in human nature. What is abundant loses its value. And in relationships, this is brutally true. When you're always available, always saying yes, always answering immediately, you're not being kind. You're being predictable. And predictability eventually leads to invisibility. Your presence stops being noticed because it becomes expected. Like oxygen, essential but ignored until it's gone. This is where many start feeling undervalued, exhausted, emotionally drained, but don't understand why. It's simple. They try to maintain connections by being constantly present. And the more they insist, the less they're seen. Because constant effort creates an illusion for others that you'll always be there, no matter how they treat you. This isn't reciprocity, it's conditioning. You unknowingly taught people to expect your effort without giving even the smallest return. That's why silence is so powerful. It breaks the pattern. It forces others to notice your absence. And at that moment, your presence begins to regain value. You stop being an emotional accessory and become a person with boundaries. And that's why the next step is so important. The experiment with silence. Now that you understand the cost of constant presence, are you ready to see the impact of deliberate absence? Now imagine this. You wake up in the morning and decide that today, you won't start any conversations. You won't send that automatic good morning. You won't reply to messages right away. You won't seek attention or explanations. Today, you will be silent. You'll let the world come to you if it wants to. This is the experiment, simple but profound. For 24 hours, you intentionally become absent, not coldly but with inner presence. The idea isn't to isolate yourself, but to observe who really misses you and who only misses your utility. You continue living normally but refrain from the need to be noticed. Then slowly you start to notice who realizes you're gone, who wonders about your silence, who tries to find you, and who simply moves on as if you never existed. The answers don't come in words but reactions, and those reactions reveal more about others and yourself than years of talking ever could. This isn't a test for others, it's a mirror for you, a mirror showing where you invest your time and where you waste your energy. Ready to see? At first, it might feel like nothing has changed. The world goes on, notifications slow down, silence sets in, but that's when the real revelation begins. People's reactions. You'll realize they fall into three distinct groups. The first is the loudest, emotional manipulators. Those who show up demanding, offended, saying you disappeared, trying to make you feel guilty. They don't miss you. They miss the control they had over your presence. The second group is the cruelest, the indifferent. These people simply don't notice. Your absence is invisible, and that indifference screams louder than any silence. They were close out of convenience, habit, or interest. When you stop giving, they simply cease to exist. Finally, there's the rarest, but most precious group, the authentic ones. Those who notice your absence with empathy, who ask if you're okay, not because they need you, but because they care about you. These reactions are emotional X-rays. They clearly show who sees you as a human being, and who only sees you as a function. And from this point, everything changes. You can't unsee these truths. Silence has spoken for you, and now what it revealed can no longer be ignored. Here you begin to realize something powerful. Your absence has more impact than your constant presence ever did. This is when a new awareness starts to emerge. Your absence carries weight you never noticed. When you step back, consciously, without explanations or drama, the world around you reveals where you truly matter. And the most surprising part, often it's only when you disappear that people start paying attention. Because humans only realize the value of something when it's no longer available. That's the power of absence. It breaks patterns. It forces others out of autopilot. It exposes dependencies disguised as affection. When you vanish for a while, roles reverse. You leave the position of pursuer and become the one who is noticed. Not out of ego, but out of awareness. Absence is an act of self-knowledge, a strategic retreat that reshapes your life's dynamics. And the curious thing, some relationships touched by absence are reborn stronger. Others simply fade away. Both outcomes are disguised blessings, because you stop fighting to keep what was never real, and you start protecting what truly is. And it all began with one day of silence. When the outside noise fades, something deeper surfaces. Your own voice. Not the one trying to please, respond, or explain, but the quiet voice buried beneath the weight of others' expectations. In the space left by the absence of others, you begin to find yourself again. And the most revealing thing is realizing how much you had been erasing yourself to fit into spaces that didn't deserve you. The world's silence gives way to the most important conversation, the one you have with yourself. This is where you remember what you love without needing approval, what you feel without needing validation. It's where solid self-esteem is born, not the inflated kind fueled by likes or quick replies, but the deep grounded kind based on inner presence. You realize you don't have to prove your worth to deserve attention, and your energy is too limited to waste on those who don't know how to receive it. Ignoring someone for a day isn't about rejection, it's about choice. Choosing yourself, valuing your presence before offering it to the world, and by doing that, you stop begging for value and start attracting respect, including your own. With this new awareness comes something you might never have practiced clearly. Boundaries, not walls, but limits. Healthy borders that protect your peace, energy, and identity. You start realizing that saying no isn't rude, it's honest. That not replying immediately isn't disrespect, it's self-care. Redefining limits means no longer giving unrestricted access to those who don't reciprocate, teaching others, through actions, how far they can go. And that's only possible when you respect yourself first. Boundaries don't push away the right people, they simply filter out the wrong ones. The absence you practiced wasn't punishment. It was a silent warning that something needed to change. Now that you've reconnected with your value, you can decide clearly who enters, who stays, and who never crosses your peace again. Because your energy is sacred, and you finally understand that. You've spent the last few minutes diving into an experience you may never have considered before. The power of stepping back, of silencing, of observing, and now something has shifted. Because it's no longer about the people around you, but about what you allow, what you accept, what you prioritize. You saw what silence reveals, who looks for you, and who only looks for what you provide. And most importantly, you saw what happens when you choose to listen to yourself first. This isn't selfishness. It's freedom. Freedom from being a prisoner of others' needs. Freedom from reacting to every external trigger. Freedom to exist without explanation. And that's why now I challenge you. A real test. A turning point. For the next 24 hours, intentionally ignore, not out of anger, but by choice. Choose not to respond immediately, not to explain yourself, not to force anything. Observe, reflect, take note. After this, you won't be the same, and you won't have to say a word, because what changed was your energy, your stance, your pattern, and from there, everything changes, including how others treat you. Respect begins where self-abandonment ends. And today you're putting an end to that cycle. If you have the courage to take this challenge, come back and share in the comments what happened. What you discover may just change your entire life.